Hey, what's going on everybody? This is G and I'm Phunken hungry. In this video, we're going to try new Kitkat packed with Milo. I got it in the block to try, and I also got it in the chunky to try, because obviously the chunky has a bit more chocolate and it might have a bit more Milo packed inside. And then you have the fingers. Had a third version, which is basically 4 rows of the block, maybe a little bit smaller. So I did get these for a fairly good price. I believe this was $3.50 on special, and this was $1 from Woolworths. So the block is 165 grams. We'll go through the back quickly. The nutrition information is going to be a bit different on these, but obviously if you're interested, I'll leave it on the screen for you for the block, and then after I'll leave it on for the chunky for you. Go through the ingredients quickly, just the basic ingredients for you. So this product contains 63% milk chocolate, 21% wafer fingers, and 16% Milo-based soft filling. Anyway, let's bust this open and give it a taste. We may as well try the traditional style Kitkat first, which are basically the wafer fingers. Alright, so I did open it the right side up, but for some reason the logo on the Kitkat is upside down. That's a bit like me. I always eat my burgers upside down for some reason. Alright, let's break off a finger. And also know your portion. So one row is 1 serve. So you're only meant to have 1 row of this. All right, let's bust this open and have a look. Yeah, so maybe a very slight malt chocolate smell to it. Look at that, there's hardly any Milo in that at all. You've obviously got the chocolate around it, so the chocolate's fairly thick on the bottom. Then you have the wafer in the middle, and if you can see just that little line on top of Milo. But yeah, I guess we'll try it first and we'll go from there and we'll see what it's like. Cheers. Just basically tastes like a regular old Kitkat. So where the funk is the Milo in that? So it just tastes like a regular Kitkat. It does have a slight different flavour to it, just because of the Milo, I guess. But you can't really taste the Milo. It just takes away from the original Kitkat flavour slightly. But it's almost just like eating a regular old Kitkat. That is disappointing. Give the Kitkat chunky packed with Milo a go. So know your portion, 1 piece. So you get 3 pieces in a Kitkat chunky. So 1 of these is your daily intake. So crisp wafer fingers with 3 breakable chunks packed with Milo. Filling all covered in a deliciously smooth milk chocolate. Yeah, packed with Milo. Absolutely packed. Okay, so this contains milk, wheat, gluten, soy. May contain tree nuts. Product contains 53% milk chocolate, 16% wafer fingers, and 31% Milo-based soft filling. Milk chocolate contains minimum 22% cocoa solids and 25% milk solids, if anyone is interested in any of that. Anyway, let's try this and hope that I get a Milo flavour from this, because I quite like Milo. I don't have it often. I haven't had it for ages, so I say I love it, and I haven't had it for probably years. If you don't know what Milo is, it's like a malt chocolate drink that comes in a powder, kind of like hot chocolate, I guess. You know, you put the Milo in a cup and you put some milk in it, and you can have it hot or you can have it cold, but it is quite chunky, so some people sort of eat the Milo with the drink. But yeah, it's not too bad of a drink. All right, let's bust this off and give it a taste. On this one, you can't really see the Milo. It's got this chocolate that's almost covered the Milo, but you can see the wafer. You get more wafer in this. You get a lot more chocolate. I'll give it a bite and we'll see how much Milo's in this. Sipping tea like Kermit. You can definitely taste it in the chunky compared to the wafer, the fingers. So the chunky is definitely the way to go if you want to taste a bit of Milo. So you can see you get a lot more wafer in the chunky, and you get a lot more Milo on top in the chunky compared to this one, where you Don't get much wafer, or you don't get hardly any Milo in this one. Look at this. Hardly any Milo. You know, you get maybe 4 times the amount in the chunky. So let's give these a rating. So the block is nice. Obviously, it's still a nice chocolate bar. Hardly any, if any at all, Milo flavor in the block. So I'm going to have to give that a really low score, and I'm going to have to give that, I'll give that a 3.5 out of 10, just because you can barely taste Milo in it, if any at all. Basically just tastes like Kitkat, really. So for the Kitkat Chunky, because it does have like a Milo flavour to it, and it doesn't taste like just a regular old Kitkat, I'll give that a 7 out of 10. I forget what I gave the Kitkat Lotus Biscoff one, but this one's definitely more nice than that. The Biscoff one, it did have a little bit of a different flavour because it had the Lotus Biscoff. Really, to me, you couldn't taste the Biscoff that much, but I guess you can't really taste the Milo that much in this. But this one still works. It's pretty nice. Definitely recommend to get the Chunky over the block. Obviously, the block, they're different prices. I believe I got that for $3.50. I got this for $1, but that was on special at Woolworths. So the block's probably going to be about $4 or $5, not on special. And I believe the Chunkies are almost $2 when they're not on special. So obviously try and get it on special if you can. If you're desperate to try them, I definitely recommend to get this, even though, you know, you get a lot more chocolate for your money with the block. But the block just tastes like regular old Kit Kat, where if you want to try something different, you do want to get a bit of a Milo taste, this is the way to go. But let me know if you've tried the Kit Kat packed with Milo, because yeah, that block wasn't packed at all. You know, you probably got like a teaspoon of Milo through that whole block. Just not enough in there. You need a lot more Milo. I don't know what they can do, because obviously the fingers are quite thin, so there's only enough room to put the wafer, the chocolate and the Milo in that. But yeah, it doesn't really work in the block because there's not enough Milo. Obviously with the Chunky, you've got a lot more sort of surface room to work with, so they can pack a lot more Milo into this. Didn't mind the Kit Kat Chunky Milo, definitely recommend that. The block, yeah, you know, I'd just say leave it on the shelf really, unless it's cheap, unless it's on special and you want to try it. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, if you could please like, please subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a video. This was G from Phunken Hungry, and I'll catch you next time. Cheers.